What if we are all a part of Source? Hello, my name is Dr. Hayley Jones. In my first few videos, I've been posing some what-if questions around the continuation of our consciousness after death. What if we are eternal beings? What if physical death is not the end of our existence? And what if there is an afterlife? In this video, I'm going to go into more detail about what it would mean if we were all a part of Source. Over the next several videos, I'm going to keep building on the ideas and going deeper to really explore how you might want to approach your life differently if the ideas I'm talking about are indeed reality. So, what if we are all part of a so-called source entity? If we are all part of a so-called source entity, then that means we are all the same being, just different parts of that being having different experiences. I know it's a cliche, but it also means that when you hurt someone else, you are hurting us all. It's like if you poke one of your arms hard with the pointer finger of the hand on your other arm. It is you that is doing the poking, and it is still you that is feeling the pain of that. Then it is still you that feels the dull throbbing in your arm afterwards. This is why many say we should be lifting each other up. If we lift others up, we are all lifted as a whole. I know this can be a difficult idea to accept, particularly with respect to people who you struggle to get along with or who you believe treat you unfairly or downright cruelly. I'm not saying you are wrong. They may very well be being cruel. But what if you and they made a pact before coming into your current lives that you would meet and have this antagonizing relationship? You decided this because it was something that was going to be beneficial to you both, and therefore all of us, of Source, experiencing cruelty or difficulty in our lives can help us to grow. If we can overcome a victim mentality of why did this happen to me, and instead see it in the bigger picture and ask, what did I learn or gain from this experience? We give ourselves the opportunity to grow. We may also give ourselves room to become more empathetic to others in difficult situations. This can lead to focusing on taking actions to help others in ways we may not otherwise have considered. We will explore these ideas further in other videos. We're now going to look more deeply at the question of what if our consciousness is, we are, eternal? This one is really difficult for us to comprehend, I think. What would we do with all that time? Won't we get bored? I think the way to look at this has to be that existing as an eternal being requires a completely different approach from life on Earth. Recently, I heard the idea that if we visited many other planets, presumably with much more evolved beings than us, we would find life too slow and boring. I imagine the beings on such planets as being more in touch with the afterlife way of being more in touch with Source, looking inward for a sense of self and not having to climb the corporate ladder or any other ladder of your choice as a purpose in life, but rather living more in the way of just being. This is difficult to explain and difficult to comprehend for most of us. Perhaps we'll explore this further in a later video. I know I've introduced a lot of ideas in this video. For some of you, they will be old hat, and for others, they may be new and maybe a bit far-fetched, and that's fine. Just take what makes sense to you and leave everything else behind. Hopefully, if you keep watching these videos, you'll start to accept some new ideas and start seeing how they fit into the whole. What I don't want to do is claim that I know exactly what happens when we die. I don't recall dying previously, and I don't recall where I was before I was born into this life, so I can't speak from memory. And people who describe having had NDEs provide such a range of details in their recollections. There doesn't seem to be just one way of it being when we die. It seems to me that it has a lot to do with what we expect, consciously or unconsciously. That is, we all have a different experience depending on a lot of factors like how we lived our lives, what we believed about the afterlife during our lives, and what we believed, consciously or unconsciously, we deserved. My name is Dr. Hayley Jones. We're going to continue exploring these ideas, going deeper in upcoming videos. I would love you to join me. See you soon.